moonless night hangs over Egypt. Torches flicker along the banks of the Nile, and inside Pharaoh's palace, a guard's voice cuts through the darkness. "Search every house. That child must not survive the night." Soldiers move in formation through narrow streets, swords drawn, doors kicked open. Mothers scream, because somewhere in this city a baby boy has been born to a family of Bani Israel, and by Pharaoh's own decree, that baby must die. This madness did not come from nowhere. It came from a dream that shattered Pharaoh's sleep and never let him rest again. In it, he saw a child of Bani Israel rising to destroy his throne, his empire, everything he had built through fear and blood. So Pharaoh gave an order so cruel, it still echoes through history. Every newborn son of Bani Israel was to be killed the moment he took his first breath. But on this very night, in a small humble home far from the palace walls, a mother holds her newborn son against her chest. Her hands shake. Her eyes are wet. Outside, she can hear footsteps, shouting, the sound of doors being broken. Her son's name is Musa, and right now, she doesn't know if he will live to see the sunrise. This is not just another story from the past. This is the account of a prophet who would one day stand face to face with the most tyrannical ruler the world had known. A prophet through whom Allah would split the sea itself. A name mentioned more times in the Quran than any other. Musa alayhi salam. But right now, none of that has happened yet. Right now, there is only a terrified mother and a newborn baby. And this was only the beginning. Musa's mother had two choices in front of her, and both felt impossible. She could hide her son and pray the soldiers never found him. But she knew sooner or later they would search every home, every corner, every basket, every cradle. Or she could do something no mother should ever have to do. Allah placed a revelation into her heart, a command so difficult it defies imagination. Place him in a chest and cast him into the river. Stop and think about that for a second. With your own two hands, releasing your own child into a river current with absolutely no guarantee he would survive. But she trusted. With trembling fingers, she wove a small basket. She kissed her son one last time. She placed him inside, sealed it as best she could, and carried it to the edge of the Nile. And then she let go. The current caught the basket immediately, pulling it away from the shore. It spun. It dipped low into the water. It nearly capsized more than once. And on the bank, a mother stood frozen, her heart breaking with every wave, watching her son drift further and further away until he disappeared completely from view. Then something happened that no one, not the mother, not the soldiers, not anyone in that city, could have ever expected. The basket drifted downstream, carried by the current, until it reached the exact spot where Pharaoh's own wife, Isia, had come with her attendants to bathe. She noticed something strange floating in the water. She ordered her servants to retrieve it immediately, and as the lid was lifted, everyone froze. Inside was a beautiful, innocent baby boy, calm despite everything he had just survived. Asia's heart melted the instant she saw him. Something in her refused to let this child be harmed. She turned to those around her and declared, "I will raise him as my own son." Just pause and absorb the weight of that moment. The very child that an entire empire was hunting down to kill was about to be raised inside the walls of the palace that had ordered his death. This was not luck. This was Allah's power on full display, protecting his chosen prophet in the very heart of his greatest enemy's kingdom. But a problem arose almost immediately. The baby would not nurse. He refused every wet nurse brought before him, again and again. Word of this spread through the palace and worry began to grow. And that's when, standing quietly in the crowd outside the palace gates, a young girl stepped forward and said, "Shall I lead you to a woman who can nurse him and care for him well?" That girl was Musa's own sister. She had followed the basket the entire time, hiding along the riverbank, watching, waiting, refusing to let her baby brother out of her sight. And through her, Allah orchestrated something extraordinary. Musa's real mother was brought straight into the palace to nurse her own son. Nobody in Pharaoh's household ever suspected the truth. The same mother who had been forced to release her baby into the river with nothing but faith and prayer was now holding him again, safe in her arms, inside the very palace built by the man who had ordered his death. This was not coincidence. This was a promise from Allah, fulfilled exactly as it was meant to be. Years passed. Musa grew up within the palace walls, raised with privilege, comfort, and status. But something inside him was never at peace. Every time he looked outside those walls, he saw the suffering of his own people, Bani Israel, enslaved, beaten, treated as less than human. And every time he witnessed it, something inside him burned. One day, that fire reached its breaking point. Musa saw one of Pharaoh's men striking a Bani Israel worker mercilessly. Without thinking, Musa rushed forward and shoved the man away to stop the beating. But the force of that single push was fatal. The man collapsed and did not get back up. In an instant, everything changed. Musa realized the gravity of what had just happened. Word would spread, soldiers would come, and this time, being raised inside the palace would offer him no protection at all. So under the cover of darkness, alone, with no companion, no supplies, no plan, Musa walked away from everything he had ever known. His home, his palace, his entire identity. He walked into the open desert. No clear path, no food, no water, no idea where he was even going. Picture that image for a moment. A man once raised as royalty, now trudging alone through endless sand, hungry, exhausted, utterly alone in the world. After days of brutal travel, Musa finally reached the land of Midian. Weak and depleted, he sat down beside a well to rest. There he noticed two young women standing apart from a crowd of men, waiting anxiously with their flock of sheep, too hesitant to push forward and draw water for themselves. Without hesitation, Musa stepped in and helped them, asking for nothing in return. That one small act of kindness would completely reshape the rest of his life. The father of those two women, moved by what he'd heard, invited Musa into his home and thanked him personally. In time, Musa married one of his daughters and began building a new life. A home, a family, a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. But Allah's true purpose for Musa had not even begun yet. Years later, while traveling with his family through the desert at night, Musa spotted a distant light near the base of a mountain. He assumed it was a fire, something that could offer warmth, or perhaps someone who could point him toward the right path. But the moment he approached that light, everything changed forever. A voice called out from a tree, unlike anything he had ever heard. "O Musa, indeed, I am your Lord." Musa stood frozen, his entire body trembling. This was not the voice of any man. This was the direct word of Allah himself. Allah gave him a command that would define the rest of his life. Go to Pharaoh. He has transgressed all bounds. Take a moment to feel the weight of that instruction. The very Pharaoh Musa had fled in fear of losing his life was now the very man he was being sent back to confront directly. But this time, not as a frightened fugitive, as a chosen messenger of Allah. Musa, honest and humble, expressed his fear openly. "My Lord, I fear they will reject me, and my tongue does not speak with ease. I fear I won't be able to make myself clear." Allah reassured him, "Do not be afraid. I am with you, hearing and seeing, and I will make your brother Harun your helper and your support." And so begins the chapter of history that would shake an empire to its foundation. A man who once ran from Pharaoh in the dead of night would now walk back into his court, not as a fugitive, but as a prophet carrying the message of the one true God. The lesson in all of this runs deep. Allah's promise is never broken, no matter how impossible the circumstances may seem. The very child who was set adrift on a river in a wooden basket would one day stand before the most powerful and cruel ruler on earth and bring his tyranny crashing down. No matter how heavy the trial, Allah's plan is always greater than we can imagine. But the real story, the confrontation, the miracles, the battle between truth and power, was only just about to begin. Musa's first steps into Pharaoh's court, the moment they finally stand face to face, and the miracle that would shake the throne of Egypt itself, That's where we pick up next time.